Living open concept, that's property stylist and interior decorator Barrinuevo's specialty. He joins us now with tips on how to define spaces without walls. And normally when you think open concept, you're thinking of a great big space.
It is.
But open concept is also a tiny condo.
It is. It's pretty helpful, especially for tiny spaces, because then you can easily differentiate which room is what.
Right, because sometimes it's a room and it's got like a kitchen counter kind of thing.
Yes.
And then what do you do with that rest of that space?
And then you get lost.
Yes.
So what usually happens is, like I said, there are tips and there are ways that we can define space without walls, right?
Okay.
And one way is, for example, light fixture. Like light fixtures is perfect in defining space, because if you hang one of these pendant lighting or chandeliers in the dining area, that will easily define it as the dining space.
You know where your table and chairs have to go.
Yes. And another thing too is furniture placement. Like furniture placement is a key piece in creating traffic and creating flow and defining and separating space for your open concept floor plan. So a good example for this is like a sofa.
Okay.
Most of the time we put the sofa like by the wall, but it is better if, for example, if it's a combined living dining, float it in the middle.
Okay,
and that
so
will
you
immediately
know that
divide.
the back of it is kind of like the hallway.
Yes, and that could be, the front could be, just like this photo, the front is the living area and the back is the living room.
Okay, okay.
And by using the furniture, the right furniture placement. And most of the time you'll use a console table too, behind the sofa kind of thing, to make it prettier.
Okay.
And make it better.
And that's what we've got here is a console table.
Yes, that's right.
Especially functional if that console table, like the front and the back, both look the same, right?
Because then
it's even more versatile. What about rugs? Rugs I always think of are like the first thing.
Yes,
right?
I love rugs. It's amazing in, you know, separating and making sure that every space is like nicely placed and organized. Right? So by putting rugs, you can tell that this part here is the living room.
Okay.
And the other side is the dining room, or maybe the hallway or the bedroom. But the tip there is, like, you have to be careful with rugs. You don't have to overuse it, because if you overuse it, then, as I've said, there's always a fine line between just right to over the top.
Okay, so maybe just one rug, and if it's a smallish room?
Exactly. If it's a smallish room, maybe use it in the living room or the living area, and maybe skip the dining space.
Okay.
And then use it again in your bedroom. But using too many rugs in a small space can look cluttered, and it will shrink the space.
Yes, yes. And then you've got artwork here as well. So how does that kind of help out?
I love artwork, because these accessories bring in the color. Because most of the time, the open floor concept has a uniform backdrop. It's just like
so
gray.
everything is the same color everywhere.
By using colors and using accessories, we can bring in the colors that we need to make it pop.
Okay.
Right, so, and that can define the space too. Maybe, like, a good example is we can use maybe, like, if we're using blues, for example, maybe darker blues in the living room, and then in the bedroom or in the family room, maybe a lighter hue, lighter hues of lighter blues.
So it separates the area. So your eye, when you come in, it's like, oh, that area, it's all kind of one color, one grouping kind of thing. That all belongs
in a subtle way.
That's one room within a room.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. That's what I'm. And the same with art pieces. With art pieces, you can use maybe a gallery wall for the living room, and then on the dining area or dining space, maybe you can use a bigger art.
Okay.
That will tell you that, you know, this big space, this space is separated by the size of the art, and that immediately defines the space.
Okay. We've got a little bit more than a minute left. How would you, if people are maybe moving into a new space like a dorm room or an apartment for school, how would you, what's your number one tip for that, for defining a space?
You have to define function first. Okay. What are you using it for? What do you need? Do you need, for if it's a dorm room, maybe you need a desk or a workspace rather than an eating area or an eating space, right? And that versatility is key too. Maybe that workspace can be your dining space too, because you have a desk and you have a table there.
Okay.
So first is you have to define function, and once you've realized and you know what you want to do with it, then we apply all this.
Okay. I'm also thinking it could be, I'm thinking back to my little rooms when I was in school. It's also a place to get ready during the day, right?
Exactly. That's right. That's true.
Yeah. So many good ideas here. I love how you've tied in the colors but haven't matched perfectly. I love that.
Because we need a little bit of pop. That's
just a pop.
what makes it more interesting.
Okay, so we've got lots more tips on our website at chch.com. We'll get all your links up there as well. Excellent ideas.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Nice ways of defining space.
Thank you.